Hello, welcome to the ADS Forum. I am DK Giri, Secretary General of ADS. We have a guest in our studio today to talk about a very important subject. You remember that on 28th March, there was a massive earthquake in Myanmar and Thailand, I think up to 7.7 Richter scale, displacing 2 million people and several thousands stuck under the rubble. The Government of India has responded promptly and has sent some relief material to the Government of Myanmar. But the civil society is yet to respond, and I think the guest here today, whom I will introduce shortly, has taken the initiative in organizing a convoy to Myanmar carrying various relief material to the victims. And this supply would ensure that it reaches the people who are in need and who are really badly affected and waiting desperately for relief from outside. Welcome, Mr. Sensei Raj. Sensei Raj is the founder of a very wonderful initiative called Vision 2032, which is a network, a kind of ecosystem that seeks to build good societies and peaceful people, nations across the world, starting with India. He is also part of a peace initiative and the global change makers. So welcome to our studio, Mr. Sensei.
Thank you, Ambassador.
Thank you. Would you kindly explain to our viewers what is the commendable mission that you have undertaken, and then you are taking it to Myanmar?
First off, Ambassador Giri, it is an honor and a privilege to be with you and in front of your audience. So first of all, good morning, good evening, good afternoon from whichever part of the world you are viewing. Vision India 2032 came about as not an afterthought, but as a result of people looking at, the systemic change is required, this is required, that is required, but not any action has been taken. So in that regard, post-COVID, I've just returned back from the US to India after 17 long years and said, why don't we start a movement rather than cribbing about it so that we could bring about the necessary change that we actually desire. From then onwards, of course, it has been Sikkim disaster, then the landslide disaster in Wayanad last year in August, and then now 28th of March, as you rightly said, Myanmar got hit by a massive earthquakes, the largest of one, 7.7 on the Richter scale, followed by 5.4 and so on in the next couple of days. The epicenter being 21 kilometers of Mandalay in the Sakawing district, and of course the various other towns surrounding Mandalay, including the capital of Myanmar, which is our good neighbor. So when our neighbor bleeds, it is our duty to respond. It is our immediate concern as a brethren, as our fellow human beings, that we jump to action. And of course, India was the first responder in the global south and also possibly in the world itself to send 5 ships worth of materials, humanitarian aid and disaster relief materials, which has amounted to 650 metric tons of disaster relief materials till date. Now, is that sufficient? I would say no, it's not sufficient. But India is putting more resources in the lands of Myanmar directly. It has also sent a specialist team of the National Disaster Response Force, NDRF, to search and rescue and also relief operations, distributing food and disaster relief materials. However, it is also our, as a human species, as the fellow humanitarians on the planet, it is our responsibility to jump into action. And and see that we could augment, assist, and expand the operations India has on the ground there. So first of all, we want to take a convoy of the trucks and the equipments which are in absolute dirt on ground. The UN has been screamingly sobbing and pleading for the equipments to come on into Myanmar, and of course the junta controls the city and urban spaces, whereas the rebels control the countryside. So at the crosshairs of these two, now the relief operations are at, I would say, a quagmire, but of not enough space that we need, including the equipment, including the manpower, the skilled manpower, the people who are experts in rebuilding, clearing the rubble. So in these backgrounds is where that we dive into the operations that we plan to, calling it Myanmar Relief Operations, and we are preparing a convoy of 100 trucks and 100 JCBs, earth moving equipment for those of you who say JCB is what, and of course all the other materials and ration to feed 10,000 people or more on a daily basis for the next 6 to 8 weeks, because without food you can't survive. The next thing is water. So we intend to supply clean water, and we intend to set up desalination plants post the phase 4, which is again rebuilding part of the relief operations as well. And the third most important again is of course the shelter, and the people are exposed to the elements, the natural elements, and if the heavy downpour is impending upon us, then Myanmar will again be an epicenter for another pandemic, which we do not want to have. So these, along with the power solutions, we carry generators and mobile gensets. So we beseech our fellow brethren and of course the sisters to donate. Open your hearts, open your souls. This could happen in India. This could happen anywhere on the planet. So India sits on 3 major fault lines. This is also a reminder that we also be prepared to face any situations like this, which may be imminent, maybe not, but certainly a matter of time. Which is why I would implore upon everyone viewing this, please open your hearts. Please put it into your CSR initiatives also to launch into whatever you could contribute, for which of course we will ensure that you will have positive PR and branding opportunities as well. With that,
thank you. Thank you, Sensei. Raj, our viewers are listening to you, and I hope that they would respond to your call for help to go to Myanmar. As I was saying, it is a civil society initiative, and it's a question on logistics. How are you going to access the areas that you want to reach? You said correctly, the military controls part of the urban areas and the rebels controls the rural areas. So these fighting groups, they are really cynical. It's a disaster situation. They should be welcoming, but we hear that Israeli forces hitting the relief trucks in Palestine. So this may happen here as well. So how confident are you to get access to the areas that you want to reach?
Excellent question, Ambassador. I should agree. It's what has happened with the IDF in Palestine and the relief materials not reaching the Gaza, despite the US putting on their terminals and building the terminals for the Israel. I would say it's deplorable. Humanitarian aid should reach wherever it needs to reach. We have friends on both sides of the strip, and as such, it is a fundamental duty of our human species to seek harmony. Number one, and I'm nobody to preach IDF nor the US nor the Palestinians to do what they have to do, but I think it's time that we possibly sat around the table and discuss like decent human beings that we all are. But again, coming back to Myanmar, the question is very similar, right? So, although being civic society, we're all ex-special forces. We have a lot of people who have worked on the UN agencies, UNITAD, and you name it. We have people who are more than capable to take on the elements, both on the national and, of course, what else can we say? So we are quite confident to take our supply lines through the area by the land. We will go through Mizoram border checkposts through to Mandalay and near regions. We'll set up 3 operational bases and 5 food camps, and if necessary, more of them will be forthcoming. Security and safety is what we understand in the depths of it, and of course we have seen the length and breadth of it in different parts of the world. So we are quite confident to handle ourselves and also the relief materials to reach who it is intended to reach.
Thank you. Good luck to you on that. My last question to you will be, I think you have been, in our conversation, I gathered that you have been part of several such operations in the past, disaster management. How this particular one is different from the rest, or each disaster requires the same set of skills and same set of logistical operation, or Myanmar being under a military rule, things appear to be more difficult than before?
Yes, this is my 9th major disaster in the world that I'm assisting in. It means my heart, first of all, to see people in suffering. But again, there are commonalities that we could draw from the earlier ones that we have faced. As we say, each day is a new day, and each situation is different. Yet, there are certain commonalities that we draw from, and we learn from the previous experiences, and especially Myanmar, because the conflict between the rebels and the junta makes it a little bit more complicated. However, what matters is, can we be more human? Can we find within ourselves to reach out to our brothers and sisters and treat them with dignity, restore their livelihoods, restore the basic necessities that they will need, just like you and I and everybody watching on this podcast.
Thank you so much, and we wish you all the best and more power to you. I'll be talking to you again on some other topic and some other issues that you are involved in. But we really wish you well for this tremendous initiative that you have taken. And thank you for talking to us.
Thank you, Ambassador. It's a pleasure to be here. And before we sign off, please go to visionindia2032.com and also Global Changemakers Network. So you have all of the list of the disaster relief items and the humanitarian aid that you would want to reach the people of Myanmar.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Nice talking to you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Pleasure.